Hello and welcome to yet another episode of HW Straight Drive with me Anil Rajpurohit and our sports editor Mahesh Koti. India faced a reality check in the 2019 Cricket World Cup as it got defeated by England in a high-scoring match by a margin of 31 runs. But the biggest news for the Indian team is that Vijay Shankar has been dropped from the squad following an injury and Mayank Agarwal has replaced him. So Mahesh, with the absence of Vijay Shankar and the inclusion of Mayank Agarwal, do you think the team would miss the services of Vijay Shankar?
See, Vijay Shankar played a couple of matches, but was far from being impressive. India's concern is with their batting. I think their bowling is pretty good. So the induction of Mayank Agarwal will be very good because he can be inducted into the team, and I think he will give that, the potency that is required for the Indian batting lineup. So I don't know whether India will actually miss Vijay Shankar a lot, because Vijay Shankar, the last two matches that he played, did not even bowl a single ball, which means that Virat Kohli does not have too much of confidence in his bowling. I think it's a good thing for Mayank Agarwal that he can play the World Cup.
Many people on the Twitter yesterday wrote that despite having an injury in his toe, Vijay Shankar was being used as a water boy. Do you think that made his injury more critical?
We don't even know the intensity of that injury. It could just be an injury that might not allow him to bowl or run. Maybe he can walk up to the ground, probably. There is a physio out there, there's a team management. They would have taken the right decision. If he had walked into the ground with the water bottle, I think they would have realized that the injury is not that grave. So I don't think we need to read too much into it.
People also questioned in the yesterday's match about the Indian team's intent in the game against England. Many people say that they half-heartedly played against England, as the win could possibly brought Pakistan back into the semi-final.
Yeah, I have been reading that across all social media, and I think it is one of the most weirdest arguments that people are placing. Which team enters a cricket ground to lose so that another team does not make it into the semi-final? India's primary objective is to play the World Cup and win the World Cup. Its objective is not to ensure that one other team, that is Pakistan in this case, is going out of the tournament. So I thought that it was one of the most silliest things that could have been said. Having said that, India was beaten by England, and I think England was a far better side yesterday. India should have actually raised their game as much as possible, which I think they played to the best of their ability, but England was far superior. So we need to accept that. India would never have thrown away the match simply because losing a critical World Cup match is not good. Because India, remember, has still not made it to the semi-finals. Who would want to throw away the game, or why would they not play with intensity? Indians played with a lot of intensity. Unfortunately, they were not as good as the English team, and that's why they lost.
So what was the real reason behind India's defeat, as many people say that India lost the match in the 30th over of the England inning itself, when both the players were scoring high and even Johnny Bairstow got a century?
I think the openers played brilliantly for England, both Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow. They scored runs at a very quick pace and they did not throw away their wickets. India were completely lost in ideas. They didn't know what to do to contain them or to get them out. Indian spinners were very, very ineffective. Remember, the ground also played very badly towards India. The square boundaries were just about 50 yards. It's 50 yards, even a missed time would go out of the ground. And the English openers were very severe on the Indian spinners. For once, I thought the Indian spinners were completely, they didn't have a single idea of how to bowl to this English team.
During the Indians innings, England after the 30th over bowled maximum of slower balls. Do you think that affected the Indian team's chances of winning the match?
See, when you play, if India would have played 30 overs, that means almost 80 overs were bowled on that wicket. Obviously, the wicket would have slowed down. It is normal for any team to come and bowl slower ones, because then the timing goes all over the place. I think the Englishmen used the conditions well. They bowled to a plan and they were able to contain the Indian batsmen. See, we're reading too much into it. We're being far critical. I've been reading a lot of reports on the social media that India are out and all that thing. I think even when England lost two matches, they were written off. Yesterday's brilliant performance by England, and now the entire press is saying that England are back with a chance.
The match was also important for a reason that Rishabh Pant was quite hyped before the game, that many people were saying that Vijay Shankar should be replaced by Rishabh Pant, and which was did. Do you think Rishabh Pant was able to perform according to the hype?
See, he was playing his first match. He's a young bloke. Anxiety is, an issue with anybody who makes his debut. I think Rishabh Pant was very anxious to try and prove. Even the first ball, he almost became run out because he was very anxious to score the first run in World Cup. Nobody likes to get out for zero in a World Cup debut. But after that, I think he played some good shots. But overall, his innings did not give anybody the confidence that he's a fantastic player. He's a great talent. Back him and he'll go out and deliver. Don't read too much into his innings of this match. Let's look how he plays against both Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. I'm sure he'll come on top.
India plays his next match against Bangladesh. With the duration of the game between England match and the Bangladesh match just 48 hours. Do you think the Indian team will be able to bounce back?
These guys are all professionals. They will take victory and defeat in their stride. I don't think 48 hours is too less for them, to brood over this loss and not come out and perform. They would have realized that they were not as good as England, and that was a bad match that they played. They will forget about it. They'll do their preparations. They'll get back to the basics, and they'll go out and perform against Bangladesh. And this time, the Indians will be firing on all cylinders.
The match against Bangladesh, the Indian team would remember its 2007 back match against Bangladesh, where it was clearly knocked out of the tournament. Do you think the current Bangladeshi side with such talent, would be able to knock out the Indian team like 2007?
See, cricket is a very funny game. This is a World Cup. Bangladesh is a good team, no doubt about that. They've got experience, they've got talent, and they defeated West Indies by chasing more than 300 runs. So don't write them off. But I can also tell in the same breath that India will come back very hard. The defeat, see, this Indian team doesn't like to lose. They will come back all guns blazing and get after the Bangladeshis. So expect a great performance by India, though I am sure that Bangladesh will try their level best.
The Indian batting in the last 3 matches have constantly been degraded after the Afghani match, after the West Indies match and the yesterday's match. Do you think the Indian team is over-relied on the bowlers now?
See, for the first time in many years, India have been winning because of their bowling and not by their batting. Because traditionally, if you see, India has always had great batsmen. During the Tendulkar era, the Tendulkar, Sehwag, Ganguly, they were there. After that, we had Gautam Gambhir, Virendra Sehwag. So the fact is that we've always had fantastic batsmen, but it was a bowling that was a major cause for concern. This time around, we've got world-class bowlers. We've got Bumrah, the best in the business. Shami is in red-hot form. He's taken a lot of wickets in the last 3 matches, and that has been one of the reasons why India have been able to win the previous two. Of course, they lost yesterday. He yesterday picked up 5 wickets, so he's been in great form. The 2 spinners, unfortunately, yesterday were very, very ineffective, but otherwise, they're a handful. And then Hardik Pandya can come in and chip in with his pretty good medium pace bowling. So all in all, India have got a very good bowling lineup, and that has been the reason why India have been so successful in the last few matches.
The Indian middle order looks like quite a problem. They have 2 problems. Let's discuss the first one first. Kedar Jadhav. No one knows at which position Kedar Jadhav would play before the match. Do you think Kedar Jadhav is low of confidence, especially in the match he played against England?
See, if Kedar Jadhav is going to bat after Dhoni, it means that India don't even expect him to score a lot of runs. To me, Kedar Jadhav should either bat at number 5 or he should not be there in the team. Take somebody like Ravindra Jadeja. He's a brilliant fielder, one. He can definitely bowl a few overs. Okay, his batting may not be as good as Kedar Jadhav, but he can actually hit the ball at times. But now when you say that Mayank Agarwal has been flown in, I would be very, very happy if he's been taken instead of Kedar Jadhav. Kedar Jadhav is not bowling. I have no idea why he isn't bowling, because if he can chip in with a few overs, maybe yesterday's match the square boundaries were short, so maybe that was the reason why Virat was not very keen on using him as a bowler. But even the previous match before that also he was not bowling, which is very strange because his trajectory is so low, it's very difficult to hit him. Maybe he's low on confidence. Maybe he's carrying an injury, a mild injury, but whatever it is, a niggle is always there. So all these things don't mean that Jadhav needs to play the remaining matches. I would want somebody like Mayank Agarwal to replace Jadhav.
And now the biggest problem. The Indian team middle order is all dependent on Mahendra Singh Dhoni. In the last 3 matches, his strike rate has been questioned. Even in yesterday's match, he was being booed after the innings got over. Do you think slow batting rate of Dhoni is affecting the other batsmen? Like in the match against Afghanistan and West Indies, Virat Kohli got out. In the yesterday's match, he was slow performance led Hardik Pandya to take action and he was out. Do you think Dhoni is affecting the Indian middle order?
See, when you need the required run rate is more than 10 runs and over, it cannot be got by one batsman hitting. It has to be from both ends. The problem with Dhoni is that he consumes a lot of balls and at times he doesn't even rotate the strike. When you don't even rotate the strike, the batsman at the other end gets more and more keen on getting the strike and trying to hit a lot of boundary. So the moment he gets strike, he starts wildly swinging the bat. And that's how the wickets fall. You're right. He's been one of the reasons why we've lost a lot of wickets on the other side. Yesterday also, I think he should have increased the run rate in some way or the other, but he was just not able to time the ball. This Dhoni reminds me of the Dhoni of last year. In the 2018, before the IPL, I think Dhoni was being questioned whether he should go for the World Cup, was for the same reason. He was not able to take the attack to the opponents. He tries to hit only in the last over. India could have tried a little harder in terms of scoring runs. Maybe the brief was to try and take the score as close as possible to the English score so that the run rate would not get affected much. But I don't know what the actual brief was. Dhoni must have just adhered to that brief.
And with last 2 matches remaining, do you think the Indian team would make any changes in the squad?
I think that we can replace one of the spinners, maybe Kuldeep. Instead of Kuldeep, we can play Ravindra Jadeja, because Ravindra Jadeja, apart from being a brilliant fielder, can bowl well. He bowls wicket to wicket. He doesn't spin the ball much, but he's very accurate. And then he's a better batsman than Kuldeep Yadav. So that is a definite change. I don't know how fast Mayank Agarwal is going to reach there. If he can reach there quickly, he should replace Kedar Jadhav. Otherwise, there is Dinesh Karthik out there.
No one's discussing about Dinesh.
No one is discussing about Dinesh Karthik. I think he should make into the team at the expense of Kedar Jadhav.
And do you think Indian team, your prediction for the match final?
Against Bangladesh?
Yes.
I think India will win. And there is no doubt about that, because India is going to come very, very strongly in this match.
So with the chance to get into the semi-finals, India would like to bounce back against his defeat against England and would like to register a win against Bangladesh. Do watch the match. We'll meet you after the match. Till then, it's goodbye from all of us.